Hey guys, what's up? It's Zank here, and today I'm going to be talking about Pokemon Sword and Shield. I beat the game in like about 3 days because I was really excited for it. Actually, no, wait. I got it on the Saturday. I think I finished it Monday morning at like 2 a.m. So yeah, it took me a little bit to beat it, but it was fun. I really liked it. And I wouldn't say it's my favorite Pokemon game, but it's definitely like in the top 5 because it was pretty good. This is gonna be like a relatively shorter video and not usually what I'd consider up to my standards. I've just been busy all week and it's really hard for me to get out a video. So I'm just gonna be giving my thoughts. So I think the graphics, which was a lot of complaints on Twitter and shit. Sorry. I think that in the cities and the routes, like the main areas with traditional Pokemon catching, I think it looked great. Like, I think it looked amazing. I thought it looked so good, and while there was some things that were a little weird with like shadows and stuff, I still think it turned out really good. I think the graphics sucked in the wild area. Like, they look so bad. Everything, I don't like the online feature, how you can see other players, and they might just start floating randomly. It just takes away from the immersive experience, and I think if the wild area was a lot more polished, it just could have been such a much better area. Like, I prefer to catch my Pokemon traditionally now in that game over than the wild area, because the wild area is just not, I don't know, it just doesn't look pretty. I don't like how the weather changes, like when you walk a couple steps. It's just, I don't know. It's just not my thing. I prefer the traditional way. I think the music is fucking amazing. I love this game's music. Every track, you know, is super memorable and catchy, and Bede and Oleana's theme, their fucking tracks slap so hard. So good. And then Hop and the gym music and the chairman, oh, so fantastic. Like, they really went all out. And don't even get me started on Toby Fox's track for the Battle Tower. Oh my god. Sorry. It's so good. Like, they're all super catchy and just they pop off. It's fantastic. So with the Pokedex, I think that, you know, having Pokemon missing kind of sucks a little bit, especially when like people's favorite Pokemon were cut from the game. It sucks, but like it makes finishing the Pokedex so much easier. And it really sucks that all the starters are gone. Like, almost all the starters other than, like, Charmander and them, and the Sword and Shield ones are gone. That really sucks. Like, that's bad. I loved having all my other starters together in one game. That was so good. But that really sucks. But my favorite Pokemon, Jolteon, is still in the game because he's an evolution. So, yay, I'm happy with that. The new features, I think that the Gigantamax, I don't know, I think it's kind of lame, to be honest. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like, oh look, it's Megas, but big. I don't know, that's just, Gigantamax is just, or no, wait, Gigamaxing, I think is what it's called. That's just making your Pokemon big. It's stupid, I don't like it. Gigantamaxing is just making your Pokemon Mega Evolve, but big. It's stupid. I don't understand why they cut Megas and then use Z-moves. Z-moves were so bad. Gigantamax is a little better, but Megas still are at the peak of those extra functions. I don't know. I can't get behind it. And with the new Pokemon, they either look amazing or they look really bad. Like, there is no in-between. So, like, Pokemon like, I don't know, just Cinderace's entire line, and like Corviknight's line, and stuff like that. Those look good. But then like, there's that one, I forget what it's called, but the one Pokemon that's just like a pink thing, and then like all the fossil Pokemon, those just look bad. Those look like a 5-year-old drew them. I don't know, they just look so uninspired. And yeah, I don't know. So it's either like a 10 or a 2 for the Pokemon. There's no in between for that. I think the story was, you know, it was decent this time around. It wasn't bad. It wasn't Sun and Moon, but it was, I mean, no, actually, no. Sun and Moon had a good story. What am I thinking of that had a bad story? I don't know. One of them had a bad story. I don't remember which one it was. So yeah, the whole story revolves around the gym challenge. I actually like the idea of how it works with the whole stadiums and gym challengers and having to be endorsed. I think that's really cool because I always found it a little weird how like they could just have a new champion of the region and no one would know about it until it happened. Like they wouldn't know about the kid who's traveling and grinding up his team for the entire, you know, first 8 gyms, beating the Elite Four and stuff. No one knows about that until after you become champion, and it's so weird. Like, you think you'd want to show this whole thing happening, but, I mean, this time they really nailed it. Like, I think that was such a cool way to set it all up. And, the whole thing with the chairman was a little weird. Spoilers, I guess. It was kind of hard to, you know, wrap my head around like why he was doing what he was doing, but it really didn't matter, to be honest. It was cool. All the characters were great, like so good. My favorite character is Beta, like easy. I love Beta. It's basically like each character has their own arc, which is amazing. I love how they're all developed. They're not just whatever the fucking friendly rival was in Let's Go, which was probably the worst thing ever. You have Bede, who was like a complete asshole at first, and I fucking love how cocky he is. It's so good. And his design is just amazing, and it goes perfectly with his theme. And just him, you know, having to... I love how his trainer pose changes after he becomes the fairy-type gym leader. That attention to detail is so good. He looks a lot more pristine and a lot more calm. I love that. The gym leaders were all cool. I got Sword, so I didn't get to see the Ice MILF, but I did see Gordy. I like Gordy a lot. But yeah, I got B, and then I didn't get to see Alistair. I think was the shield guy, the ghost type. I didn't get to see him, which I actually would have preferred those gym leaders, honestly, but I think the Sword legendary looked better, so I picked that one. And yeah, and then there's like Sonya was great. Like, I don't know, she felt like an actual contribution, and her becoming the professor at the end was just like the icing on the cake. Also, that design is amazing. I love it. And Hop, you know, while it was a little like forced sometimes, or he would come and stop you, he had a good arc, you know, trying to find out what he wanted to do with his Pokemon and his journey, and how he felt up to his brother and us, the trainer who was destined to kick his ass and everything. So yeah, I mean, I really liked the way they took him. I think it was pretty good. Team Yell, that fucking sucked. That is definitely the worst evil team we have ever gotten. It was bad. Like, their whole thing was that they just rooted for Marnie the entire time, and it was just so dumb. Because they would just get in the way. They have no evil goal or at all. They just were like, we like Marnie, fuck you. And that was the whole thing. There was no scheme, there was nothing. It was the dumbest thing ever. Team Yell is absolutely my least favorite of the teams. They just always annoyed me. I didn't like their designs. I hated how there was only 2 of them, a male and a female one, and they had no other design on that. And it wasn't like where in like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire they had like masks and stuff, so it could have been like other people, but you couldn't tell. These guys were just straight up the same people, and you could fight like 2 guys that looked exactly the same face, same shape, everything. Nothing changed, and I hate that. It completely unimmerses you from the game, and I hate Team Yell so much. Definitely the worst Pokemon evil team we have ever had. And that is my thoughts. So, overall, I think Sword and Shield was a great game. I really enjoyed it. Definitely in my top 5 Pokemon games, like Generations, at least. I think that, you know, if it was delayed and had a little more time, it probably could have been way better if they took the time to polish the wild area and such. But I think that people's expectations were just a little too high for the first console mainline Pokemon game, so they ended up being disappointed by it. But, you know, it happens. And, yeah, that's gonna be it. So that was my thoughts on Pokemon Sword and Shield. Overall, I'd give the game maybe an 8 out of 10, I think. That's fair. Maybe 8.5, I'm feeling generous, but, you know, it was a great game. I definitely recommend you pick it up if you have a Switch, and, yeah. See you all. Have a nice day. Peace.